Hi, my name is Katina. This is Oliver. We're going to be doing some animal flow vinyasa today. And even though it's called animal flow and Oliver is here with me, it really has nothing to do with the dog. He's just here to keep me company. All right. So with any animal flow workout, you're going to start with doing some wrist mobility. So go ahead and get your hands together, palms together, and start rotating your wrists in a circle and warming those wrists up. So animal flow is a quadrupedal movement training program. And Vinyasa, as you know, is yoga, hatha vinyasa, flow yoga. So the two are not the same, but they have a lot in common. So the workout we're doing today, Switch Directions, is going to share the similarities. We're gonna talk about the animal flow moves using yoga language, so animal flow is a lot more accessible and easy for people who do yoga and practice yoga regularly. Now go ahead and get your hands flat and start working them in and out. Don't show me your palms, just come back and forth. So while yoga is a lot about the poses, animal flow is about the movement between the poses. It's about how you get from point A to point B. Now go ahead and start waving your arms, whichever direction is comfortable, make the biggest waves. And now go the other direction. All right, we're gonna continue down to a tabletop position to continue our warm-up with our wrists. So go ahead, this is called beast position. Tabletop in yoga, but it's called beast when you lift up your knees here in animal flow. To find the proper beast position, go ahead, bring your elbows to your knees, hands down directly in front of your knees, come up, tuck your toes under. If you wanted to set beast, you would just lift your knees up, but we're gonna go over a little bit more warming up first. So go ahead, rock back and forth on your wrists. And come side to side. And make some circles. As you can see in this position, in a normal tabletop position, your knees are under your hips. But in the beast position, your knees are under your belly buttons. They're a little bit more forward. Beast can also look a lot like hovering cat, the yoga position. The difference is in hovering cat, your toes are untucked. But in beast, your toes are tucked. Switch directions. So when we go through our movements later, we're gonna put together a little tiny flow. And I say set beast. You're gonna come to this tabletop position with your knees up, your arms are engaged, you're pressing the floor away. You have a neutral spine from the top of your head to the bottom of your tailbone. Your core is engaged. Go ahead and set beast. Come up and join me and hold in this position for just a few seconds, getting nice and stable. You should feel like you're pulling the ground back with your hands and forward with your feet, engaging your core, and rest. We're going to talk about a spinal wave, or it would be called wave unload. So to talk through this in terms of yoga positions, we're going to go ahead and start a child's pose. A wide-kneed child's pose. So bring your knees apart, untuck your toes, bring your hips back on top of your knees, and place your hands to the ground, bring your forehead to the ground. While this is known as child's pose, in animal flow, a similar position we have is called loaded beast. For loaded beast, you're sitting back with your knees raised, your arms are forward, and you're back on your heels. So it is very similar to a child's pose. The only difference is that your knees are lifted. It's a little bit more active. So that would be called loaded beast. It's a lot easier to get into a loaded beast from beast to sit back and reach your hands forward than it is loaded beast from a child's pose. Go ahead and come back to somewhere in between a child's pose and loaded beast. So have your toes tucked under, sitting back on your heels, reaching your hands forward. We're gonna walk through a wave unload, but we're gonna do it with yoga. So you're starting in child's pose. Straighten your legs, lift up into your downward facing dog, but intentionally lift your heels up. So you're not bringing your heels towards the ground like in a downward dog, you're lifting your heels up. From this position, you're gonna shift forward, doing a spinal wave, one vertebrae at a time, lowering down to your plank. Now that we are in a plank position, shift forward so that your shoulders are on top of and forward from your wrists. At this position, you're gonna start to lower your tailbone one vertebrae at a time, coming into what looks like a upward facing dog, but you're not gonna untuck your toes. You're gonna keep your toes tucked. At the top of your up dog, you're gonna look up to the sky or the ceiling. Now to return to your loaded beast, all I would say would be return. First, you'll tuck your chin, and then one vertebrae at a time, you come up through your plank to your down dog, back down to your child's pose. So doing this in an animal flow way, you would set loaded beast, wave unload. Return to loaded beast. So go ahead and give that a try and join me with it this next round. Moving a little bit quicker through the move. So set loaded beast, wave unload. Return to loaded beast. 2 more times, wave unload. Return to loaded beast. 1 more time, wave unload. Return to loaded beast. Now go ahead and rest. The next move that we're going to go over is called a scorpion switch. So in yoga, we end up going the same direction in our sagittal plane on our mat. But in animal flow, you're gonna kind of work off your mat because we don't only work in the sagittal plane, we're working in multi-planar movements here. So all different types of planes of movement. I will show you this from the yoga standpoint. All right, coming back, you're starting in your beast position. So bring your elbows to your knees, hands out in front of it, tuck your toes, coming up to your hovering cat. If I were to say left leg scorpion switch, I would pick up my left leg, I'd come up into my one-legged downward dog. And then I would start to flip over like I'm doing a flip dog. Doing a lot of controlled movement, balancing. And this time when you land, coming down. So to come back to that, if you were to do scorpion reach, left leg scorpion reach, or left leg scorpion switch, excuse me. You would start in your beast, left leg scorpion switch, come up to your downward dog, bring your knee towards the ceiling. Pick up your left hand, start to drop. Right here is where you're in your flip dog. So from your flip dog, all you do is bend your knee and come down, keeping your hips off the ground. So this is your final position. Come back, we'll try the opposite side. You're going to set beast, right leg scorpion switch. So lift your right leg up, knee towards the ceiling, single leg downward facing dog. Start to flip over to your flip dog. Land with your foot, your arm comes down, hips come down, and you're landing right here. Give it a try on each side once again. So this time I'm just gonna call the animal flow moves. Set beast, left leg scorpion switch. Set beast, Right leg scorpion switch. Good job. The next move we're going to work on is called a crab and a crab reach. To set your crab position, the first thing you're gonna do is straighten out your left leg, bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Bring your left foot to match that. You wanna have your feet and your knees shoulder width apart. Your hands are coming down behind you. And unlike when we do reverse tabletop in yoga, where our hands are facing us, when you set crab and animal flow, your fingertips are facing away. Ideally, you would like for your hands to be directly behind your shoulders and your fingers to be pointing away and behind you, but it's okay if you need to have your hands a little wider. It's okay if you need to have your hands out facing the side. You're gonna wanna be the shape of an M, so slide your butt back and forth, find the midpoint, and that's where you are. When you are in your crab position, your chest is nice and proud. You have a neutral spine, so you're not looking straight forward. You're looking up as though you're watching a rising or setting sun. You're gonna lift your butt just about an inch off the ground and sticking your tailbone back nice and active. So when I say set crab, come up and join me and hold this position, and we're just gonna hold this. This is called crab, set crab. Come down and rest, good job. The next thing we're gonna go over is called a crab reach. So you're gonna call right arm crab reach or left arm crab reach. I'm gonna show you a left arm crab reach first. So from your crab position, if we were to do a left arm crab reach, I would lift up my left arm. My left elbow is now pointing towards my belly button. My hand is in front of my face. I would lift my hips up like I'm doing a reverse table. And now my shoulders are stacked on top of each other. This hand is going to come down towards the ground. My bicep is hugging my ear. My eyes are looking at that right hand on the ground. From here, I would just want to return to crab. I'd bring my hand back, my shoulder back, my hips down, and then return my hand. Try it on the right side. Right arm crab reach. Lifting up your right arm, your hips, stacking your shoulders, reaching with your hand, looking down at your left hand with your eyes, right fingertips towards the ground. Return to crab. Bring your hand down, hips down, hand back. Give it a try one more time on each side. Left arm crab reach. Left arm comes up, hips up, turn the shoulders, reach and look. Return to crab, hips down, hand down. Right arm crab reach. Up and return, hands down. Nice. So the last thing we're gonna go over before we put this all together is gonna be called an under switch. So an under switch is a transition move in animal flow. I wouldn't say that there is something in yoga that I would compare it to. So if we wanted to go from crab to beast or beast to crab, we would under switch to get us there. To do this, if you're coming from crab, if I said right leg under switch, I'd pick up my right leg and my left hand. I would bring this shin parallel to the ground. My elbow is still in towards my body. My hand is coming upright. I would come up on the ball of my left foot. I would start to pivot. Nice strong right arm here, right? Coming down and landing in beast. So notice when I come down, I'm in a beast position. To go from beast to crab, we're gonna do the same thing. It's always gonna be an under switch. It's never gonna be an over switch. So from here, if I would like to go back, if I said right leg under switch, I'd pick up my right leg, left hand. I'd bring this leg under the body, shin is parallel to the ground, hand is staying in, pivoting on the ball of my feet, and then setting it down. Let's do the other side. We'll do a few times each side. Left leg under switch, left leg comes up, right arm comes up, shin parallel to the ground, toes pointed. Coming down, landing in that beast. Coming back to your beast position, left leg under switch. Left leg comes under the body and land. One more time each side. Right leg under switch. Right leg comes up, shin is parallel to the ground. On the ball of the foot, pivoting on that foot, landing in your beast position. Right leg under switch brings you back. Right leg under the body, coming down, landing in crab. Left leg under switch. Left leg comes up, up on the ball of the foot, shin parallel to the ground, coming down, setting beast. Left leg under switch brings you back to crab. Left leg under switch. And land. Perfect. So those are a few animal flow moves broken down in a way that makes sense for someone who practices Vinyasa yoga. Now we're gonna put them all together into a little flow. All right, let's put this together in a flow. We're gonna start off in that beast position, which as you might remember is like a hovering cat, but with your toes tucked. So bring your knees down to the ground, starting off with your knees shoulder width apart, bringing your elbows to your knees, hands directly out in front of that. Lift your shoulders up, tuck your toes under, pick your knees up. You are now in beast position or hovering cat with your toes untucked. First move we are gonna do is gonna be a scorpion switch. So we're gonna do a right leg scorpion switch. The first thing you're gonna do, lift your right foot up, point your toe, straighten your left leg, bring your ears between your biceps like you're in a shortened downward facing dog, single leg downward dog, doing a hip opener. So your knee is pointing up to the ceiling. You're gonna start to lean to the left side of your left foot. You're gonna start to lift off of this right hand like you're coming down for a flip dog. Flip your dog right here. And when you're in this flip dog position, simply lower down and bring your right arm with you. Now this position that we're in is called modified crab. So to get the crab, all you have to do is bend your left leg and bring your right arm down. Now we're in crab position. The next move we're gonna do is a left arm crab reach. So you're gonna bring your left arm up, hips up, reach. You're in a reverse tabletop with your shoulders stacked on top of each other, looking down at the ground. Return to crab. First return with your hand. Second, your hips come down. You can bring your hand down for now if you would like. The next move that we're gonna be doing is gonna be a left leg under switch to loaded beast. So you're gonna bring your left leg under the body and step your hand out. If we were just coming to beast, you'd bring it here. You step your right arm forward and back, coming into your child's pose. If you want to do it the animal flow way, have your knees lifted. Now we're going to bring in that spinal wave. So first thing you do, straighten your legs, downward dog with your heels lifted. Roll forward to your plank, lower your back to your upward facing dog, untuck your chin. Return to loaded beast, tuck your chin, spinal wave up, through plank to downward dog, bend your knees, back to child's pose. That's the whole flow. We're gonna do side two now. So going with the left side, and as you see, I did move a little bit off my mat. It's totally fine. Just be mindful of your neighbors if you're working next to someone, or the wall if you're next to the wall. So back up, set your beast. We're gonna do left leg scorpion switch. So bring your left leg up, straighten your right leg, knee to the ceiling, ear between the biceps, start to come over to flip your dog. Land here in your flip dog, bend down your left knee, straighten out your right leg, and set crab. Coming into setting up for your reverse tabletop. Right arm crab reach, bringing your right elbow to your belly, coming through that reverse table, reaching bicep next to the ear, right fingertips towards the ground, eyes to the left hand. Return to crab, bring your hand in front of your face, bring your hips down. Now a little fun trick with the flow that we're gonna do. We're gonna do a left leg under switch to loaded beast. You're welcome to bring your hand down if you want to, but you can keep it up, and when we under switch to loaded beast, just come right into it from here. From here, we've got the wave unload. So first thing you do is come to your down dog, Shift forward to your plank, one vertebrae at a time down until you're in your up your dog. And then to return to loaded beast, tuck your chin, one vertebrae at a time, up through plank to down dog, returning down to child's pose. Let's see if we can move through that flow a little bit faster on each side. Let's go through that flow one more time, using a little bit more of the animal flow language now that you've become more comfortable with it. So when you're ready, first move, set beast. Right leg scorpion switch. Lift the left leg, right knee to the ceiling, come over to your flip dog, come down. Set crab. Left arm crab reach, hips up, reach. Return to crab, right leg under switch to loaded beast. Wave unload, hips up, come forward, plank, up dog. Return to loaded beast, tuck your chin, through plank, downward dog, back to child's pose. Now side number 2. Come back to your mat and resume, set beast. Left leg scorpion switch. Right arm crab reach. Return to crab. Left leg under switch to loaded beast. Wave unload. Return to loaded beast. Thank you for joining me today. That is all we got time for. Feel free to replay the flow and go over it a few times if you want to get to expert level on it.